A competitor has finally arrived, the Kindle Basic 2022. Kindle and Kobo have been going at it for as long as e-readers have been around. So how are these two different exactly? Or the same? Well, let's check it out. The Kobo features 85% recycled plastic in the body construction. Even though the Amazon came out after the Kobo, it only features 75% recycled plastic in black and only 30% recycled plastic in the denim color they sent us. However, they take it a step further and actually use 90% recycled magnesium in the construction of the PCB. Both the Kobo and Amazon packaging are 100% recyclable from head to toe, fulfillment center plastic aside. Strangely enough, while Kobo has recycling stamps on the front and back of the box, the beginning of their promo video, and scattered amongst their webpage, Amazon doesn't advertise the ecological nature of their device almost at all. In fact, they hide it near the bottom of the page. In terms of the screen, they're the exact same. 300 ppi 6-inch sunken screen and bezel displays. They both have Bluetooth and 16 gig of onboard storage, however the Kobo is waterproof and has a warm light. So even though they have the exact same display, we'll go through the comparison and side by side right now. First off, we're not putting the Nia in this because the Nia is not the entry level from Kobo anymore. It was released over 2 years ago, features a 900 MHz processor and just a low PPI screen. So we're going with the 2E instead. These are the home screens. Now, they're pretty much drastically different. For example, if we go to home on both of these, this is your Kobo, My Books, Kobo Sketch, the top, and most of the icons down below are yours. On the Kindle, only these little things in the middle are yours, and then library. Everything else is Amazon's. The store logo right there, and every single other thing is recommendations, more like, popular this, most wished, stuff like that. Not saying that's a bad thing, it's just there certainly is a lot of Amazon services being thrown at you, and this is all internet based. This is your library on the little carousel, or the library right there, but everything else surrounding it is basically belongs to them. On the Kobo, it's a little bit more yours, and you don't have a top drop down like the Kindle. If you click there, you get the Kindle at the top. Here, you actually don't get that. You have to click each individual thing. If you click on the glow light, you get brightness and natural light. You only get brightness on the Kindle. We'll show you that later on. There is no warm light on the Kindle. You do get a warm light on here. You also have Wi-Fi, you have battery, you have sync, and you have search. This searches both in book, in the actual device itself, and it searches the internet. You can actually choose via the drop down what you want it to search. On the Kindle, when you click search, it searches everything. So it'll search the store, it'll search on your device, and it'll kind of tell you what's what. If you go back to the home, neither of these have home buttons, unlike the Barnes & Noble. They don't have a home button. You don't have page turns either, so that's a little bit down. You have to actually use your finger. And I say that in a negative way and a positive way. It is positive that there's less stuff and there's thinner bezels. In fact, the Kindle has way thinner bezels than the Kobo if you're comparing them, but it would be nice to have some physical page turn buttons. This is what the library looks like. They give a grid view, or you can filter them and change them into different views. So for example, if we want to go list view, we can do that on here. And if we want to go list view, we can do that on here. If you are noticing so far, the touches all seem much quicker on the Kindle, and you wouldn't be wrong. The Kobo just seems like the hitboxes and the touch boxes are a little bit harder to interact with. You kind of have to not touch things 2 times or whatever, but you have to get used to a smaller touch area. For example, on the Kindle, it's just much easier to hit exactly what you want to hit. On the Kobo, more mistakes are made. If we go to more and subsequently we go to settings here, you'll get all your settings. I kind of like the simplistic small font here, but I like how bold it is on here at the same time. You get different things like beta features, you get accessibility, parental controls, large print mode, and they both have dark mode, either going over here to the dark mode on the Kobo within the settings, or you can just click dark mode up top on the Kindle. They actually make it a lot easier for you on the Kindle than the Kobo. Kobo's bringing something to the table that no one asked for, and we don't necessarily know we want it, but it's kind of nice that it is here, and that is Scribble. And to be completely honest, it's really quick. It's actually one of the quickest scribbles we've seen on an ebook reader. Pocketbook has been kind of pioneering Scribble, and they do have a little bit more options with pen size and stuff like that, but it really isn't all that good. Kobo's quite nice. The downside is that everything just gets shown up in your book feed. So for example, here's your finished scribbles and stuff like that, and you can't re-edit them. So it's just a quick kind of jot down note. You can never change them or anything like that, and they're these weird SVG files, and they're not organized very well. So it's good that it's there, but it's weird that it's there at the same time. If we go over here, we'll open up a book and look at the screens side by side, even though they are the exact same screen. Unfortunately, there is no overlap with font styles, so we can't get the exact same font. These are as close as we can get it. Looking at it with our naked eye, looking at it on camera, there's really no difference between the two. And why? Is because they're using the exact same screen. The backgrounds are the exact same color. The font is the exact same color. It might look, you know, like one is better than the other, but trust us, it isn't. They're both sunken screen and bezels, and that's just what we're looking at here. If you go over here to font, you can change various things. You can actually embolden the font several steps as well, which is kind of really cool to have, and it's a good option that's kind of nice to be there, but you don't have to use it. You do get font size, line spacing, and margins on here as well, and Kobo takes it a step further and gives you advanced, in which case you can actually choose before and after of what you want it to look like so, and you can change it from one to another. Click apply to apply, just click back to go out. You get the same kind of things here with layout, but you don't get a before and after comparison. You do get some more options over here, which is reading progress. You get show clock while reading, stuff like that. Just a little bit of extra stuff. You can go over to the settings here and get reading settings, in which case it gives you dark mode. As you can see, it's much more buried than on the Kindle. You get header, all that kind of stuff. You can obviously check out the full reviews of both of these in the end roll if you guys want to see how they all compare to each other. Page turns, I just exited there, are pretty much the same. Kindle has a little bit of this kind of disillusion there, it dissolves. Kobo is more just a snap change, but they're basically just changing pages in their own way, their own proprietary transitions. They really don't take any shorter or longer than each other. The downside is you can't do quick page turn, because if you press and hold the side thinking you're going to do a quick page turn, you're not. You're just going to do a long press. So that's kind of the downside of not having physical page turn buttons. On the Kobo, you get Wikipedia and web browser search. You can also translate and do dictionary to and froms like that. Highlights, notes, and search. On the Kindle, you can do the same thing. Highlight, note, share, search. And if you go over here, you can report content, error, or you can do open dictionary. And if you also long press, you can swipe over the little panels here to go over to translation, in which case you can translate any language to any language you see in the drop down menu. It all gets translated via Bing, so you do need the internet to get that done. On the Kobo, you don't get any sort of X-ray-esque type of thing, but you do get some reading stats, so that's kind of cool to have these little encouraging statistics on the reading experience. And on the Kindle, you can go to X-ray. X-ray is a really good way to kind of catch up if you're juggling multiple books. For example, you don't know who Marcus is. You get back to this book after a year, you click on Marcus, it'll tell you all the times they're mentioned, how many times they're mentioned, and you can click on something and go directly to that time in which they were mentioned. Manga's not really a comparison. The Kindle's just better with graphic novels and manga. It's formatted better, it looks better, it changes pages better, it's more crisp and formatted and just refined for the unit itself. Kobo's kind of hit or miss depending on what you load in, and it's just not that great. On the Kindle, you do get a little mini-map down below there, as you can see, but it's just a skeleton mini-map, whereas on the Kobo you get an actual image of where you are, kind of like a thumbnail cheat. So that's really cool. Other than that, they're the same quality, as of course they're using the same screens, but all of that kind of changes when you go to something like a graphic novel. This is where Amazon kind of takes the reins. You can see graphic novels, if you double tap, it actually goes into this kind of panel view or guided view, in which case it isolates each individual panel, be it landscape or portrait. It actually gives you that option, which is really cool and something that Kobo just doesn't do. I can't say that either of these have a better store experience than the other, because they don't. They're all just kind of formatted in different ways. You have things like recommended, trending now, top picks, categories, and same on here. You can browse the categories by clicking here in a drop down. You can click categories right there. Once you've chosen something that you want to see, just simply click on it, go to murder and suspense on the Kobo, finally get over to something, and there you go, this will be your buying decision. Now, an advantage that Kindle has over Kobo is that you can actually register this in any country to any marketplace you wish. For example, we are in Japan right now, and we just chose that this was in America. No VPNs, no tunnels, anything like that. We just say, I want this to be in America, sign into your Amazon account, and away you go. You get the USA Amazon.com bookstore. Whereas on Kobo, it's region specific, so it's only going to access the Japanese store, as you can see right here. Everything is in yen, all my content's going to be in Japanese, etc. If you're in Canada, it'll be that. So it is a little bit of a downside how you get geo-locked in, whereas the Amazon's kind of open for business. Looking at these side by side in just the blue light / white light, it does kind of seem like Kobo is just a little bit more overexposed and Amazon just seems a little bit more stable, and obviously it's better with the naked eye. But the downside of the Kindle is that that's all you get. You don't get any way to change it any more than just sliding it up and down. But Amazon does allow you to slide and change live. Kobo doesn't allow that, and I'll show you in a second. So what on the Kobo you can do is, if you don't like how it looks, you just simply change the light. And you can see on the Kobo, doesn't actually change while I'm sliding it. It doesn't do anything. You have to let go in order for it to actually react like that. So it is nice how you do get that glow light to have a natural set of LEDs, because look at that, you can make it super white, and now in comparison to the Kindle it looks super blue. So it's kind of a little bit of a trade-off, and there's really nothing you can do about it except spend way more money and get yourself a Paperwhite 5. These kind of comparisons are never a matter of who is the winner, but simply to show off what both of these releases bring to the table. The Kobo feels a bit more well-rounded and feature-packed, but you get 2 colors on the Amazon and more of a tried and true operating system stability. The choice is yours and yours alone. For GoodyReader.com, this is Peter.